So we all know the name Beam. This Beam, Craig Beam specifically, is doing some absolutely amazing things. Stick around, we're gonna get into that here on the My Bourbon Journey Whiskey Review channel. All right, guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hey, if you're new here, consider subscribing, hit that thumbs up button. Really appreciate you being here today. So like I said, Craig Beam, now the master distiller over at Jackson Purchase, doing some absolutely amazing things. We're gonna talk about their newest release here, which is gonna be their Batch 1 Full Proof Bourbon. This has become very quickly, I think, a fan favorite. We're gonna get into that a little bit more, a couple other reviews and things out there, some interesting opinions, but I wanted to really tackle this because of really what it is, not only now, but where I think this thing's going. So here are some of the specs on this one. Again, Jackson Purchase, this is their Batch 1 Full Proof Bourbon. It comes in at 117.8 proof. Mash bill on this is gonna come in at 70% corn, 20% rye, and 10% malted barley. It is non-age stated. These are being aged in char 4-level barrels, and the MSRP on this is going to be right around 60 bucks. So I think getting a bourbon that has that kind of proof, you know, decent age for the most part, at or around 60 bucks, man, it's kind of a tough one to beat. But we'll kind of dive into that, give you guys an idea of what you can expect for the new Jackson Purchase Batch 1 Full Proof Bourbon. So the one thing I love about it right away is it has this brightness, this kind of strong or heavy, like caramel apple feel to it. Yeah, nice spice, and specifically there's a little bit of a nutmeg that's there that just kind of jumps out of the glass right away. Yeah, it has this initial brightness, sweetness, like right up front. And again, with this being at or right around that 4-year mark, 117.8 proof, you can really start to get an idea of maybe where this is not only at now, but where this is going. And with Craig Beam and all of his experience, I mean, this is what makes me excited for not only this brand, but still the whiskey industry, is when things like this kind of start to pop up. So that's why I'm really excited for, you know, Craig, his team, everybody over there at Jackson Purchase. Yeah, those really nice, strong, fresh caramels, warm caramels, like they were just kind of done being made, so to speak. Yeah, there's a little bit of this fried bread dough, you know, a little bit of that nutmeg, some sugar maybe sprinkled on that. There is this both savoriness and this decadent kind of working together at the same time. Yeah, light dark fruits. You know, actually I'm gonna say maybe light to medium dark fruits that are there. Something that's just, I guess, enhancing that little extra sweetness. This is giving this, so far on the nose, a little bit more richness, a little bit more depth. Yeah, those caramelized sugars, brown sugars, maybe a little hint of like a maple. And I want to say there's a little bit of this kind of citrusy feel that it has to it. But so far, really nice nose. I'm excited to get into this. There's a lot of people, you know, within the whiskey industry that I respect and trust, who have had some favorable opinions of this. And I wanted to really kind of sit down with this thing, take my time before I gave my opinion. And now we're kind of getting into that today. So, all right, let's get into the palate and see what this one has to offer. Cheers. Boy, so like I got a little bit on the nose, which was later, right away, my first thought is this darker fruit, almost a spicy Jolly Rancher, a really fantastic spice that it has. The oak is really nice on this as well, but that fruit layer, the kind of spicy fruit layer that's there, is something that really jumps out and kind of sticks and sits right on the palate like immediately. Yeah, really nice. I mean, spice, like the spice factor on it is really nice. And I guess for me, like when you get a really nice spice layer, I think that allows for when there's gonna be those sweet layers, it just seems to enhance those a little bit more. There is that sweet note that this thing has as well. Maybe get into a little bit of that, maybe buttered cornbread, things along those lines, like a sweeter cornbread as well. Nice caramels, but again, that spicy Jolly Rancher dark fruit note is one thing that is just really continuing to stand out for me. Yeah, I think you get into a little bit more of the vanilla custards, things along those lines. More spice begins to really kind of just dance around on the palate a little bit. Again, like I got on the nose, there is a little bit of this caramel apple feel that it has to it. Caramel strudel, caramel apple strudel, something along those lines. You know, for a whiskey that's at or maybe slightly above 4 years old, this is where you can see the experience, I think, shining within this whiskey. There are a lot of other brands out there that could have a 4-year-old bourbon that wouldn't be nearly as developed as this is. So I think this is where, you know, Craig Beam and his team are really starting to shine and maybe be a bit ahead of where somebody else may be with, you know, their own, you know, 4-year-old whiskey. It drinks soft, and what I mean by that is there is this velvety kind of texture to it. I don't want you to think that it's not drinking, you know, at or around that 117, you know, plus proof. It does. That heat shows up, the spice factor, you know, really kind of shows up in this thing as well. But overall, man, I'll tell you what, for 60 bucks, a really, really solid, you know, 4-plus-year-old bourbon, you know, made by one of the best, you know, names, at least in the business, one of the best people, you know, in the business. And Craig Beam, I mean, with the amount of experience, it's hard to not want to be not only impressed now, but waiting to see where exactly this thing goes, you know, in the future, and these things begin to kind of age up a little bit more. So it's maybe a brand right now that I'm super excited for at this point, and even more excited to see where the brand goes in the future. And I think it's got, I mean, definitely at least a medium to long finish, caramel apple, that spicy Jolly Rancher fruit, maybe a little bit of an orange zest that's there, medium oak that it has to it, nice vanilla custard notes that are there as well. You know, overall, again, I'm giving kind of notes of a whiskey that may be, you know, closer to double its age in terms of the richness and the characteristic of this whiskey than something that would be closer to, you know, to what it is being around 4 years old. So, man, overall, you know, color me impressed. I mean, I am really, really impressed by what it is that Craig Beam and his team are doing there at Jackson Purchase, and just excited for the brand and where they may be going in the future. You know, so overall, for 60 bucks, I'm going to say yes all day long. I think it's going to give people an idea of what you can really start to expect, you know, from this brand, what it is that they're producing, and to spend 60 bucks on a bottle nowadays, you know, it's become like almost the new 30 bucks, to be honest, you know, within the whiskey industry. But I think it is definitely worth having on your bar and trying. It's a very, very solid bourbon. And again, I'm impressed by what it is, and looking forward to what the future holds for Jackson Purchase. So with all of that being said, I'm going to call this a buy. Give it a try. Let me know your thoughts. Have you had this bourbon specifically from Jackson Purchase, their batch 1 full proof? I would love to hear from you and your thoughts overall on this bourbon and the brand itself. So I'm, again, you know, excited for what the brand has to offer and what the future looks like as well. So again, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Greatly appreciate it. If you'd like to follow me, you can on Facebook and Instagram, those places at My Bourbon Journey. If you'd like to help support the channel and become part of the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club, man, maybe we could do a single barrel pick of this as well. So consider hitting the link in the description below, that down there with a lot of other amazing things for you as well. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in today. And as always, it's about the journey. and not the destination. Cheers, guys. We'll see you in the next video.